Yo, what is up, dudes, dudettes, and everything in between? I'm Reyes, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk, a show where I research a shit and spill the tea. Sleep, science, the country of Russia. When you think of science experiments, you probably think of those papier-mâché volcanoes that erupt when you put baking soda in them. But we are not talking about an innocent elementary school group project that I always had to do all the work for. Instead, we are talking about a creepypasta known as the Russian sleep experiment. An experiment so unbelievably cruel that you could say it's from hell. So without further ado, I present Let's Talk, the science project from hell, the Russian sleep experiment. While nobody has ever said the exact date it started, everybody can agree that it was sometime in the late 1940s and took place in a test facility in the Soviet Union. There were 5 subjects who were enemies during World War II and political prisoners. The basis of this experiment was they would keep these 5 people awake for 15 days, a total of 360 hours, using an experimental gas-based stimulant. See, I can do math too. They were kept in a sealed environment to monitor their oxygen so they didn't die, but based on what happens later, they might as well have killed them. The researchers only had access to microphones and thick porthole-sized windows to monitor them in the Chamber of Secrets. There were books, cots to sleep on, no bedding, running water, and a toilet, and enough food to last all of them over a month. Sounds like a real nice vacation. Sounds wonderful. Trapped inside a gas chamber and forced to stay awake for 15 days? Where can I sign up? Everything went fine for the first 5 days. How, I don't have any fucking idea. But they had hardly complained because they were falsely promised that they would be freed if they did not sleep for 30 days, despite them only lasting 15. I wouldn't have lasted a day. I stayed up for 24 hours once in a hospital, and the next day I could barely keep myself awake. So I don't know how they did it. Their conversations and activities were monitored, and they kept talking about their traumatic events that they had experienced in their past. After the 4th day, the conversations took a darker turn. 5 days. They started to complain about what led to them being a part of this torture chamber in the Soviet Union, and started to demonstrate severe paranoia. They stopped talking to each other and whispered in the microphones. At first, the researchers thought it was the gas that was causing this. After 9 days, one of them started screaming, repeatedly yelling for hours on end, and eventually he could only get out squeaks, which it was suspected that he had torn his vocal cords. The weirdest thing, though, is how the others didn't react to this at all until the second one started to scream. The 2 others took books apart, smearing them with their own literal shit, and passed them through the portholes while the screaming stopped, and so did the whispering. 3 more days passed. On the morning of Dia 14, day 14, they used the intercom to provoke a response from the subjects, since they went silent, so they assumed they were either dead or VeggieTales vegetables. Then they announced something that I will now do a dramatic reenactment of. We are going to open the chamber to test the microphones. Step away from the door and lie flat on the floor. You will be shot. Compliance will earn you, one of you, your freedom. In a very calm voice, someone said, "You no longer want to be freed." A debate broke out with the researchers and military forces. As they were unable to get any other response, they opened the chamber at midnight on day 15. The chamber was flushed of the gas, and the 3 voices began begging for them to turn the gas back on. screaming louder and louder. And so did the soldiers when they saw them. 4 of them were still alive, but they looked dead. They had several portions of muscle and skin torn away, and all of their wounds were self-inflicted. The abdominal organs had been removed, but all of the muscle and skin on the ribs have been ripped off, exposing the lungs. The prisoners put up a fight when they tried to get them out of the chamber. One Russian soldier had his throat ripped out and died. Another had his testicles ripped off, and an artery in his leg severed. Wow, that is fucking painful. And 5 others sadly lost their lives from ending their lives following the incident. Now, they decided to try the experiment again because, I don't know, I guess they're stupid. In preparation to be put into the gas chamber once more, they were hooked up to EEG monitors, which is a type of monitor that monitors your brain waves, and had restraints. One subject's waves were normal most of the time, but sometimes would flatline like they were suffering brain death repeatedly. They died shortly after. The only remaining subject started screaming to be sealed in, his brainwaves showing the same flat lines. The commander told them to seal the chamber with the 2 inside and the 3 researchers. One of the 3 drew his gun and shot the commander, turning to the mute subject as he shot him as well. The same researcher aimed it at the last subject's heart and fired, but before they died, they choked out, so nearly free. Well, that was the creepypasta known as the Russian sleep experiment. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more of my content or knee slap content, consider subscribing if you would like. Anyway, I love you guys. Stay safe and never let anybody take your crown.
I'm a boss ass bitch, 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 bitch. I'm a boss ass bitch, 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 bitch.